Fincher and cast members Jonathan Holt. Because David will also be coming back afterwards for doing the LFF Connect in Conversation event. So I'm going to start with a few questions and then throw it over to you guys. I want to start with what we just heard, because at the end of episode 2, which is what they've just seen, they get into the lift and you start hearing that bass line and you're like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? It's such a ballsy music cue to go with that Talking Heads song. And whilst the material is quite dark, there are so many kind of stylistic, kind of playful elements, things like the subtitles in the bar. So what were...
Yeah, apologies, Joe.
what were the stylistic kind of fun parts?
What do I...
What was the kind of stylistic flourishes that you most enjoyed presenting in the material?
Well, look, if you're going to do something that's this kind of bleak, you got to give people a little bit of levity, otherwise they might not follow you into the basement. So we were, always looking for areas where, if it's true and if it's, I mean, I've always wanted to use this song for something, and you'd be kind of stupid if you didn't use it for something like this. But yeah, it was just to be playful. There's a lot of music that was not intended to be funny, that was funny, but it's, kind of sets a time and a place. Most specifically, a time. We'd kind of try to go for one-hit wonders that would put you right in 1978. So it wasn't really like trying to be too funny, but certainly looking for moments that you could inject a little levity. And I'm sticking to it.
A lot of your work in the past has concerned kind of investigation, and there's an element of presenting kind of data in a certain order and withholding, and a lot of that's in the script, but a lot of it's also in the kind of details that you revealed. So I wondered what your kind of filmmaking rules were with this project in particular.
I think we didn't want to make a show that was afraid of people talking, because that's kind of what it is. It's a lot of conversations. It's my dinner with Andre the Giant, and so you needed to. You couldn't run from it. So you just have to kind of go. Here it is, and there's going to be 11 pages of this. And get over yourself.
Well, Jonathan and Holt, your characters are obviously obsessed with psychology, so I'd like to ask you about your relationships with your mothers. or rather, how you went about researching these roles.
My mom actually let me dress up like Mary Poppins for Halloween when I was 3, so I feel like that's the reason I'm not a serial killer.
And I guess my closest relationship, this is revealing a lot about me right now, but it was with the woman who brought me into the world. I loved and adored my mother. She passed away 2 years ago and left a big hole in my life. But as I studied these men, and I discovered that almost all of them have a very difficult relationship with their mothers. They're either abused by their mother, they have a domineering mother, the mother humiliates the child, and that's where it all seems to begin. And I found myself being very grateful for the fact that I had a wonderful mom.
It's quite refreshing. It's very pro-education and pro-curiosity. And Jonathan, with your character, he wants to learn from everything, be it kind of university or conversations in bars or cinema. So when you were researching the role, when you were kind of getting all of those inputs, how did you approach that in your character?
I really relate to that as a person in life. I think generally, hopefully, actors are curious, and I'm a little bit of an intimacy whore in my real life.
What does that mean?
Let me expand on that. I'm interested in people. I like hearing people's stories, and so that element of the character felt really natural to me. And I wasn't a serial killer aficionado going into this. All of my friends, my sister-in-law listens to the podcast, the murderer thing. You know, everyone in my life is obsessed with serial killers, but this was kind of an education for me, which was cool because it paralleled the journey of the character. Is there like a feedback? Are we hearing like a feedback? Yeah. Should I go closer or further away? Or just stay where I am? Is it a ringing in my ear? Am I about to die?
It's a stroke.
Okay.
Sit still.
Wait a second. It's that Quaalude you gave me at dinner.
It's a 70s thing to research.
So Holt, with Bill Tench, he's obviously a more seasoned character.
Well, thank you for putting it that way. I thought you were going to say much older. Seasoned is such a kind word.
He uses his experience, and it's interesting that the kind of points of resistance and our sympathies kind of going between him and Holden as to, you know, sometimes he's resistant to Holden's ideas, but you get the impression that it's very much from a place of wanting to protect him or not wanting him to make a fool of himself or to go too far. How did you, what was your reading of Bill Tench, and what kind of research did you do coming into that?
Well, I just think that Bill is a guy who's been in the FBI for many years, and he understands the bureaucracy of the FBI and how everything moves there at a glacial pace. And when Holden comes in with a lot of new ideas and a lot of energy and enthusiasm, I think Bill's natural tendency is just to say, you know, slow down a minute, kid. This is the FBI. We don't do anything quickly. But at the same time, Holden's appearance in Bill's life is a real catalyst for change for Bill, because he's kind of stuck in a rut. You know, he has problems at home. He's in a failing marriage. He's kind of fed up with the politics at Quantico. He goes out on the road and he teaches road school, and he's sort of checked out in a way. And I think Holden's new approach to the work causes Bill to kind of re-examine a lot of his thinking. And I come to understand that Holden is really onto something very, very interesting, and he kind of reminds me what I always loved about being in the FBI.
Excellent. All right, well, do we have some questions from the audience?